What secret you won't share with anyone in person? Viewer edition.
Hey folks, quick content warning at the top of the video. A number of these stories are going to contain things of a intimate nature, be it harassment, assault, or just general content. I don't think any of it is too terribly bad, so if you're uncomfortable with it, you might just want to be, prepared to know what's coming, or you may end up wanting to skip this video. Story 1. Using a throwaway email account that I usually use for, as the username says, baiting scammers, so that no one will ever stumble upon this, or at least so that the person in question never finds this, because that would be embarrassing for me. Too long didn't read, accidentally saw my best friend's breast through her top as she was changing clothes during a dance clip project she organized that I helped her film. I will never tell anyone in person, especially her, unless I have literally no choice because we don't lie to each other. Context. I'm male, so my best friend, female, who organized our school's dance club, had a video clip project for the dance club planned to be filmed during the start of the summer holidays. About 2 months before the clip was to be filmed, their cameraman was no longer available to film, so there was a bit of panic for finding someone who had the skills to film, wanted to / didn't mind, and was available for all the filming dates. She told me this, and someone who took the school's cinema course was like, "If you don't find anyone by mid-June, tell me, I can work a camera reasonably well," so I basically became the new cameraman. Skip to during the filming. Once I get there and am checking out the phone that was to be used for filming, I knew it was a good phone for using, but I had never used it, so was finding all the settings and doing quick tests. Whenever my friend comes over and is like, "By the way, just so you know, there's a lot of costume changes, so make sure to turn away if seeing some of us in underwear bothers you." Already you know where this is going. The first thing I thought was, nobody planned to bring something like a beach tent? The second thought was, crap, I could potentially accidentally see my best friend in underwear. That could be awkward for me. Here's the problem. I had a crush on her. She knew. I had told her a few months before the whole filming project happened, so she was well aware of what she just caused in my head. The reason I thought it could be awkward for me, and not just in general, is because she's a person who doesn't have a lot of care about these things, as in she would just shrug it off after and be like, whoops, but if you were in the middle of a conversation, would finish the conversation before going whoops. So after processing quickly what she just told me, and probably immediately turning red, just responded with, okay. She did something crossed between a laugh and a snicker. She knew what she did, and trust me, she mentions it every now and then just to see my embarrassed look, but she doesn't know the full reason why. Side note, when I say best friend, I mean the most important person to me that is not family, but may as well be family type of best friend. We were inseparable and are now only separable due to me being at uni, but whatever. We don't find the time to meet up, we make the time. So skip to the last day of filming, and by that point I'd had a whoops moment with practically the entire dance group. There were 13 of them in the group, so had at least one whoops moment with 9 or 10 out of the 13, but miraculously avoided one with her. FYI, the entire dance group nearly were quite similar to my best friend when it came to whoops moments, due to the group being mixed, so it didn't even occur to them that for someone that only officially arrived in their group like 2 weeks prior, it could be a bit awkward. But that luck was about to run out on me 20 minutes before we wrapped up filming. So we were just talking as she was rummaging through the multiple bags filled with clothes. Don't even remember what we were talking about. Nothing important anyway. So it problem concerned the final scene for the clip, because I know that I had the camera in my hand and I was adjusting a couple settings on it because of the lighting from the sun that was going to blind the camera otherwise, when she asked me to pass her the water bottle that was in the cool bag next to me. At that point, she was still in clothes that she was wearing during the previous scene, so I just grabbed the bottle from the bag. While I'm in the cool bag, she complains that she is going to have to wear an extra layer of clothing under the next outfit. I ask why, and she answers because the outfit for the next scene has no sleeves and is fairly open on the back, and that her bra was black and the outfit was pure white. But the outfit was rather loose at the front, so she had to wear something or her breasts could slip out, so she has to wear something under the outfit, but also that it has to be a tight fit, and that with the heat, it must have been 40 degrees Celsius in the sun, which we were. It was going to cook her. I responded with, oh. So after fiddling with the cool bag, which was being a pain to close, I get up to give her the bottle of water she asked for, and when I turned around, I noticed that she had changed her top. So far, all is good, but I had to go around the pile of bags, and when I got round it, since I was at a different angle, the way the light was hitting the top made the top rather see-through on one side. As I noticed that, I also noticed that underneath that rather see-through top, she had nothing else on, and by see-through I mean that during the 2 seconds that this took place, I could quite clearly make out her entire right breast to the point that she had a tattoo. Then I would have been able to clearly make it out, even if it was only a centimeter big. So I did what any person in my situation would do, which was to quickly give her the bottle and turn around as fast as possible without making it obvious that I saw anything. Because in my head, a whoops moment where I see her just in underwear is one thing, but this was something completely different that could be embarrassing even for her. Which, now looking back on the moment with the knowledge of the conversation that we've had since then, and we've had some weird conversations to say the least, and completely sober might I add because she doesn't really drink, it's highly likely that she would have shrugged it off since, one, we're best friends and all friendships have their funny, weird, embarrassing moments. This would be ours, and two, I turned away as soon as I could after giving her the water because she was dying from the heat. I am so hell-bent on keeping this a secret, especially from her, that while playing Truth or Dare with her, where the questions asked if someone could choose truth could be as not safe for work as we wanted, that I preferred to admit to having watched furry videos on 18+ sites over revealing this secret to her when I was asked what's something that nobody knows and that you would prefer to take to the grave. I can already hear people thinking, but you could just make something up. Nope. One, it's Truth or Dare. You agree to never lie no matter how embarrassing the answer is. Two, I hate lying and have never lied to her about anything and never will. I won't bring something like this up for no reason, but if for X reason she asked me something like, hey, remember when we filmed that dance project, specifically the last scene we filmed where I wore all the white top outfit was the top I had to wear under it see-through at all, I would tell her the full truth, but unless she brings it up or brings something up where I would have to tell her, then I won't. And three, we know when each other is lying. Now that contradicts what I just said about never lying to her, but I'm not counting the I'm fine lie when actually feeling like crying my soul out. That's a lie that we both extremely good at pulling on the other world, yet we both see right through each other each time. Like it's scary how good we are at seeing through each other's lie to the point where even by text we can read I'm fine and know that something's wrong. Alright, I'm going to say a few things. First off, I thought this was going to be way worse from the start of that story, and it's not. It's honestly kind of nothing. You did the right thing by turning away. Like, yeah, you looked for like 2 seconds because your brain's processing like, wait, what? No, I'm not supposed to. Like, I think you did the right thing, and I think it's fine. You saw it through a sheer shirt. Yeah, okay, it's a breast. And you think your friend would be fine with it, so I think that you should tell her. And I think that you're saying, oh, you won't lie to her. There's a thing called lying by omission. If you're keeping this secret from her, it's probably kind of festering, enough so that you wrote a very long post about it. And I think that it weighs on you, and if you keeping this from her, lying by omission, then I think it might kind of affect you in the future. I think you're better off to just say, hey, I just want to get this off my chest, let her know, and chances are, with how good of friends you sound to be, I think she's going to be understanding. I think she's going to be fine. I think she'll be a little, confused as to why you kept this from her for so long, but yeah, believe me, I think everything's okay. I don't think you did anything really wrong, aside from just, I don't even necessarily think it's wrong keeping it from her and worrying about it, but I don't think it's doing you any favors.
Story 2. My little secret is that I basically have a full-length adult novel in my head most days, and it's very, very racy. Lots and lots of going on in my imagination, which may be weird because I'm a woman. I don't know if other women think like this, but I do. I'm fairly hyper-intimate anyways, and sometimes I get myself so worked up thinking about it that by the time my husband gets home, I'm a horny friggin' disaster and he gets torn apart as soon as he gets in the door. And I'm very orally fixated. I think that I like that and get off on it more than he does sometimes. Not that he minds either, lol. I like giving more than receiving. It's so important to me that I can't even get in the mood without that being the first thing that happens. And I can say all of this because I'm under an assumed name and no one knows who I am. I may become unalived if anyone ever does find out of sheer embarrassment.
I've been a voiceover artist for many years, and I got my start doing audiobooks. And a lot of the audiobooks that I've narrated are erotica. No joke. Some male, some male-female, you know. I'm all over the place. But I will also say this. The vast majority of authors that I've worked for, and certainly the ones that were the most lewd, all women. I don't think there's anything unusual about you being a woman and being that way. Like, I've known plenty of women in my life who were much more intimate and interested in that stuff than even I am. So, yeah, there's nothing wrong with that for you or anybody else watching who might be having those thoughts.
Story 3. The couple with the story staying together because of their kid hits home with me. My parents did not like each other, but my dad refused to get a divorce because he wanted to be a part of me and my sister's life, and didn't want us to see him as that weird guy in the store that says he's our dad. He also never liked the idea of one parent having them through the week and the other has them on the weekends. My mom felt the same way, so they begrudgingly stayed together up to about the last month of my freshman year of high school when they finally split. There were times throughout their time where they legitimately seemed happy together, especially when we were with friends and family, but those moments were usually short-lived. My dad may be far from perfect, but the fact he stayed in a relationship he did not want to be in for his children's sake says wonders about his character. Story 4. 2 of my cousins, one first cousin and one second cousin on my mother's side of the family, have hit on me. One when I was a teen and one as an adult just a few years ago. They both knew we were related. The second one liked me so much, she said she wanted to marry me and have my kids when she was old enough to get married. What the F is with my mother's side of the family? You know how every family has one black sheep? So many people on her side of the family had a screw loose in one fashion or another. I was only ever introduced to my mother's immediate family, most of whom I've not seen in years.
Yeah, I don't think I can get on their side with that stuff. I try to be an understanding person, and I've even had people explain, like, really, the whole cousins thing isn't that big of a deal because blip, 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 blip. No, I can't. It's family. First, second cousin, third cousin, and I don't even know any fourth cousins, but I feel like I don't want to know the connection of blood that leads from me to another person exists.
Story 5. I killed someone. Well, technically, I didn't do it. Someone was harassing me at my college, messaging me on Facebook, and somehow got a hold of my phone number. I decided enough was enough. I have a friend in Japan who I've known for over a decade. She's one of my best friends. After my stalker called me, I sent her his phone number knowing full well her uncle is a Yakuza boss. As predicted, she went to her uncle about it, and I never heard from the guy harassing me again. So, yes, I'm guilty of murder. I don't know the name of the person who was harassing me and never found out who it was. Story 6. I harassed my best friend, girl, I'm male, and I've never forgiven myself for it. We over a call, and I'd ask if she'd show me stuff. I'd show her stuff, and she said no, and I was confused since I thought girls liked seeing that stuff too, was young and naive. I'm not giving myself any excuses when I say this, but at the time I was severely depressed from a multitude of different things going on, and she knew this, and without realizing nor thinking at the time, I told her, well, if I saw it'd make me feel better and could help with my depression. I didn't understand her anger back then, but I do now, and I will never forgive myself for having done that. Word of advice, if you're feeling down, don't wallow in despair, reach out and get help. I know it's hard, but it really does help.
I would highly recommend that anyone who has gone through something like this and is struggling with this kind of stuff to please seek out therapy if you can. What you did isn't right, but people do make mistakes, and I feel like this, you know, especially as teenagers figuring things out, because it sounds like this was something that was happening in like teenage, super early adult years. You've made mistakes, but that doesn't mean you should just wallow in it and, you know, not try and, you know, improve yourself and feel better about yourself. Definitely nothing to celebrate at all, and it is good to recognize that what you did wasn't good, but seriously, seek some therapy, because living in misery because of, you know, some mistakes like that, I don't think that's necessarily the way to go about these things.
Story 7. One thing that I wouldn't say in person is that no matter how hard I try or how much I give, I never feel like I'm good enough. That always leads to depression, alcoholism, and thoughts and attempts of toaster bath. I also tried to push every one of my problems aside to help those I care about. There's been many times where I've went without food because I gave money to a friend to help them not struggle. I do usually get paid back, but it feels hard to take, like I'm taking something they need more than me. Then the cycle starts again. Story 8. I know my face is attached to this account, but honestly, I think I'm ready to tell this group of strangers my secret. I don't have Reddit. Trigger warning, CSA, unalive attempt, horrible family. I've been assaulted more than 5 times, all by different people. I can't remember where it started. I also tried to off myself multiple times, once calling my ex-best friend at the time. My mother is a POS, who told me I was going to make us go back to court. And she, best friend, screamed at me, telling me I was selfish, how I was abandoning her, and how I should have thought of her first. Never really told anyone besides my partner.
Always going to give out the reminders, folks, in these videos, where if you're struggling with thoughts like this, please reach out to someone that you trust. It can be friends, family, it can be a helpline. There are people who care about you, and things can absolutely get better. I've sadly lost friends in my life senselessly, and I've had friends who have attempted stuff, and after recovering from it, couldn't believe that they ever did that, and were amazed at just how much better life can get. So please reach out if you're struggling.
Story 9. I'm a 47-year-old woman who has never had intercourse or a relationship. Too many years of rejection, low self-esteem, being afraid of catching something, not having the time to worry about dating, etc. Now I don't know if I ever will. I'm so used to being alone, and how do you explain that to someone? Yes, I have toys and use them regularly. I am Demi, not Ace. Going to therapy to work on this, but just can't seem to make much progress. Story 10. One secret I'll take to my grave is one where I had an intercourse dream when I was a teenager with a family member. I didn't mean for it to happen. I didn't want it to happen. It just did. When I woke up, I was grossed out. Thankfully, the eerie feeling went away after a few days. I will never tell anyone. If they ever happen across this post, I'll simply not say who was in the dream.
Please leave your story in the comments. I would love to make a video on them in the future. Also, don't forget to like and subscribe.